And that's why we're there. Let me mention too, domestic tour director as a different job than international tour directors. International, we've got a lot of management. When you do domestic tours, your management's easier because you usually meet them at the hotel if they're all coming in together like an international group. I mean, at the airport, or you meet up at the hotel if they're all coming in at different times. Most likely you're going to meet them at the hotel and then do your brief meet at cocktail party and all of that. Maybe not for the kids if you do student tours, but but you're on this. You have your driver, you have your motor coach. You're on the same motor coach, same driver for 10 days, 2 weeks, however long the tour is. And then you drop them off at the airport or you end at the hotel, however your tour is structured. But so the management is easier in that case. You're not having to do the airlines and different drivers, different guides, different every day. So, but you do the narration. And nowadays there's so much on the internet. When I started, I remember taking books from the library like this and, you know, a little bit in this book, contacting visitor centers. I mean, it was tough. Nowadays, it's so easy and there's so many wonderful sites. National parks, you go to their website, they've got wonderful resources. I mean, it's great. So it's a lot easier. And I like to stress to people, they think, oh God, I'm going to be talking 8 hours a day. No one wants to listen to you talk 8 hours a day. Linda knows. So if you're a tour director, in fact, I had one in Australia one time and just through, and he was so good, so much information. My people could say, please stop. And I'd say, it's wonderful, please. It's enough information, please, please, please. So maybe on an all-day trip, if I was going to go from Los Angeles, Orange County to Scottsdale, 6 hours, maybe I'll talk 30% of the time as we go across the desert. And it depends on who you have. If you have somebody from England, they're going to see cactus for the first time. They may be really interested. So it depends on who you have. When you're on a city tour even, you don't want to listen to somebody talk for 4 hours. You know, you're going to stop for souvenirs. You're going to stop to use a restroom. You're going to stop to get a cup of coffee, you know, to see if you're Hollywood, you're going to want to stop and see the footprints and handprints and all that. So maybe you're talking 75% of the time. So don't think you're talking all the time and don't try to do that to people because people love to sitting back and then, you know, I mean, they're there to see the scenery and enjoy the peace and the country. I mean, it's just, you know, all part of the experience. So and it becomes an art and you get to the point where it's really fun because you each tour you learn a little bit more and you learn a little bit more how to say things and how to get people engaged and you, in your mind before you speak you start going, oh, I'm going to paint it this way, you know, you paint these pictures and I anyway, that's being a domestic tour director again.
And I do have
go on and on.
I do have a question on that, Sherry. I actually have 2 questions. So do you have to live as a tour director, do you have to live in the location? And 2, are you an employee or are you a contractor?
First question, do you have to live in location? If you're an international tour director or a domestic tour director, normally not. Now, if you're working for a small mom and pop situation, you know, where they're hiring their friends or families to be the tour directors, you know, then it's different. But the major tour operators, no. They fly you to wherever the tour starts, and then they'll fly you home. They'll cover all your expenses, your hotel, your any gratuities that you have to pay, like on the luggage for the gratuities for the group luggage or anything like that. You'll get all of that ahead of time. So that's all taken care of. And that's if you work for a domestic or an international.